Hello everybody. In this lecture we are going to talk about affixes. In the previous lecture we talked about bases, free bases and bound bases. And as we've said, according to the second classification, we classify morphemes into two types, bases and affixes. So in today's lecture we are going to talk about affixes in details. Affixes are defined as bound morphemes. So, affixes are bound morphemes. Remember, affixes cannot be free morphemes. Affixes are always bound morphemes that occur before, within, or after the base. Their position is either before the base, within the base, or after the base. That is why we classify them into three types: prefixes, infixes, and suffixes. So we have three types of affixes according to their position regarding the base. They are prefixes, infixes, and suffixes. Now let's talk about each one of these affixes, of these types. Now let's take the first type of affixes. The first type of affixes is represented by prefixes. From the name prefixes, pre means before. Pre means before, which means that those bound morphemes, which are called prefixes, always occur before the base. Their position in the word is before the base. That is why they are called prefixes. We have a lot of prefixes in English. Let's take examples. Disagreeable. This word consists of three morphemes: dis, agree, and able. Dis is a bound morpheme. It cannot be uttered alone with meaning. Able is the same. But agree is a free morpheme because it can be uttered alone with meaning. Now we come to the second classification. Bases and affixes. Agree is the base because agree carries the principal meaning of the word disagreeable. Disagreeable, agree. So agree is the base. And the type of this base is a free base. Now we come to dis and able. Dis comes before the base. So, it is a prefix. It is a bound morpheme. It is an affix. It is not a base. It doesn't carry the principal meaning of the word, so it is an affix. And it comes before the base agree, so it is a prefix. Why it is a prefix? Because it comes before agree. Able is a suffix. Later on we will talk about suffixes because able comes after agree. So this is a prefix because it comes before the base agree. The second word is inspect. It consists of two morphemes, in and spect. No one of these two morphemes is a free morpheme. In is a bound morpheme. It cannot be uttered alone with meaning. Don't mix in with in as a preposition like in the garden. That in is different from this in. This in comes with bases. It is attached to bases. We identify it with bases. So, in is a bound morpheme and it has meaning. It means within or between. Spect is also a bound morpheme. It comes from other languages like Latin or Greek. It means look. So we have two bound morphemes with no free morpheme. Now we come to the second classification, bases and affixes. Which one is a base and which one is an affix? Because we should have a base in the word. The principal meaning of the word is carried by in or by spect. Certainly, it is carried by spect. The principal meaning is carried by the morpheme spect. look. Look within, look between, which means like check, examine the meaning of this word as a whole. That is why the meaning of the word is carried by the morpheme spect, so it is the base. In comes before the base spect. It is an affix and it is a prefix because it comes before specs. Now we come to the third example, which is reclaim. Reclaim consists of two morphemes, re plus claim. Claim is a free morpheme. Re is a bound morpheme. Let's come to the bases and affixes classification. Claim is the base because it carries the principal meaning of the word reclaim. Claim, reclaim. But re is an affix. It doesn't carry the principal meaning of the word, although it has a meaning, but its meaning is secondary to this word. It means again. Re means again. So reclaim here has an affix plus a base. Since the affix comes before the base, it means that the affix is called prefix because it comes before the base. The last example is antifreeze. Antifreeze consists of two morphemes, anti plus freeze. Freeze is a free morpheme because it can be uttered alone with meaning. Anti is a bound morpheme. It cannot be uttered alone with meaning. Freeze is the base because it has the principal meaning of the word antifreeze. So antifreeze comes from freeze plus anti. So the principal meaning is carried by the morpheme freeze. Anti is an affix. It carries a secondary meaning, not the principal meaning. So it is an affix. It means against freezing. So anti comes before the base, which makes it a prefix. So it is an affix. Its type is a prefix because it comes before the base freeze. We have in exercise 8.8, page 90. In fact, it's page 89 and 90. It requires the meaning of some familiar and common prefixes in English. We have a lot of prefixes in English, not only this list, but at least you have to look at this list. You have to fill in the blanks with the meaning of each one of these prefixes in order to memorize them one by one, to remember them, because we are going to deal with them in the course of time. Okay? So please go to page 90 and memorize at least the list of prefixes in this page. The second type of affixes is called infixes. From its name, infixes, in. We've said that in as a prefix, it means within or between. So infixes are bound morphemes that occur within a word. Within. Infixes can be either additions or replacements. We have two types of infixes. They are either additions or they are replacements. Let's talk about the first type. Additive infixes are the less common types of infixes. The less common type, it means that it doesn't occur frequently in English words. We can find it, let us say, rarely in English words. For example, the S plural can be inserted between two parts of a word, which makes it an additive infix. For example, the word passerby as a singular noun, passerby. When we want to make it plural, we say passes by. We do not say passerbys. Wrong. It is passes by. So the S is added within the word between passer and by. That is why it is an infix, because it is added within the word, not before nor after the base. Between. Mother-in-law. Mother-in-law is a singular form. If we want to make it plural, we say mothers-in-law. Mothers-in-law. We add the S plural between mother and in-law. That is why the S plural here is an infix, because it is added within the word. So it is an additive infix. It's enough to take these two examples. I'm not going to give you more examples about additive infixes, because the most important type of infixes is the replacement type, not the additive type. So it's enough to take the S plural that is added within the word, like mothers-in-law. We can have fathers-in-law, sons-in-law, passers-by, etc. Just the S plural when it is added within a word. Replacement is the most common type of infixes in English. Most infixes in English are replacements, not additions. We can find these infixes in few noun plurals and with the past and past participles of verbs. So, what are infixes that are replacement? In fact, the replacement infixes are infixes in which we replace one sound with another sound in the other word. So we are going to have a kind of replacing, changing. One sound is changed into another sound. Here we have the change of sounds. Sometimes the letters are going to change. Sometimes they are not changed. Sometimes they are not changed. Only sounds are changed. Let's take examples to clarify the point. The first example is goose. That is changed into geese. Goose is a singular form. Geese is the plural form of goose. We know that goose is not made plural by adding S. We cannot say gooses. We have to say geese because it is irregular. So this change in the vowel from goose into geese is what is called an infix. The infix of the plural form. The infix of plurality. So the change from O, long O, into long E is a type of infixation, and it is a replacement infixation. It is a replacement infix because we replaced one sound with another sound. Let's look at geese. Geese is a word. How many morphemes do we have in this word? In fact, we have two. The word geese consists of two morphemes. It consists of the singular form goose and the plural infix E. E is an infix and it is a morpheme and it has meaning, the meaning of plurality. So it is a morpheme. That is why geese consist of two morphemes, goose and E, which is an infix. Tooth. Tooth is the singular form of tooth. Teeth is the singular form, is the plural form of tooth. So, tooth, teeth. We cannot say tooths to make it plural. We have to say teeth. So what happens is that we also replaced U with E. The E of teeth is an infix. It is an infix. It is a morpheme in English. And it has meaning. It has the meaning of plurality. So teeth consist of two morphemes. The singular morpheme tooth and the plural infix E. Find. Find is a verb without any addition in the base form. Found. Found. The past of find and the past participle of find is found. Found. What happens is that we did not say finded. We did not add ed to make find past and past participle because this verb is irregular. The only way to make it past and past participle is to replace I in find with ow in found. So we have an infix in found. The infix here is a morpheme. It is a morpheme because it has meaning, but it is an infix because it comes within the word. It is inserted within the word. So found consists of find plus ow, the infix ow, which has the meaning of past and past participle. Sing. The past of sing is sang. The past participle of sing is sung. Look at this example. So we replaced, in order to make sing past, we did not say singed or singed with the past participle. We say sang and sung. So we have infixes. We have infixes when changing the verb from its base form into its past and past participle. Instead of I, we have a and a. A in the past form and a in the past participle. So this change from one sound into another, the result of this change is an infix. An infix for the past form and another infix for the past participle. Mouse, mice. So we have mouse, ow, that is changed into mice, I, from ow into I. Look, we have even some spelling change, but what is important is the pronunciation. Mouse, mice. The only change is in the sound. When changing mouse from singular into plural, we have mice. Mice consist of two morphemes, the singular morpheme, mouse, and the plural infix, the plural morpheme, which is I. Mouse and I, which is an infix that is inserted within the word. The last example is read. To make read past and past participle, we do not add ed. We do not say readed because it is an irregular verb. All we have to do is to pronounce it differently. The spelling is going to be the same, but the pronunciation is different. So, read in the present simple, read and read in the past and past participle. So what happens is that we have replaced E with E, the long E with short E, which means that we added an infix by changing the sound from E into E. There is an infix in the past and past participle of the verb read. So read consists of two morphemes, read and e, the infix that indicates past or past participle. The last type of affixes is called suffixes. Suffixes, in fact, are the most frequent affixes in English language. We have a lot of suffixes, more than prefixes or infixes. So what are suffixes? Suffixes are bound morphemes that occur after the base. So their position is after the base. And there is a note that says they may pile up to the number of 3 or 4. It means that we can have 3 or even 4 suffixes after a base. We can have 1, we can have 2, we can have even 3 or 4 suffixes after the base. Well, let's take examples of some suffixes in English. Kindness. Kindness. This word consists of two morphemes, kind and ness. Kind is the free morpheme, ness is the bound morpheme. Kind is the base. It has the principal meaning of the word kindness. And ness is an affix. It is not a base, it is an affix. But what kind of affixes? It is a suffix because it comes after the base. Greasier. Greasier is a word that consists of 3 morphemes. Grease plus Y plus ER. So we have a greasy, greasier. Grease, greasy, greasier. 3 morphemes. Grease is the free morpheme. It can be uttered alone with meaning. Y and ER are bound morphemes. Grease is the base. It has the principal meaning of the word and it is a free base. Y and ER are affixes, and the kind of affixes they belong to is that they are suffixes because they come after the base. So the Y and ER are suffixes. Normalizers. Normalizers consist of 5 morphemes. Norm, AL, IZE, ER, and S. Norm is a free morpheme. AL, IZE, ER, and S are bound morphemes. They cannot be uttered alone with meaning. Norm is a base. It has the principal meaning of the word. And it is a free base because it is a free morpheme. AL, IZE, ER, and S are affixes. What kind of affixes? They are suffixes because they come after the base norm. Look, we have 4 suffixes, one after the other, in this word. That is why they may pile up to the number of 3 or 4. Fruitfulness. Fruitfulness. We have 3 morphemes. Fruit, full, and ness. Fruit is a free morpheme. It can be uttered alone with meaning. Full and ness are bound morphemes. They cannot be uttered alone with meaning. Fruit is the base of the word fruitfulness. It carries the principal meaning of the word, and it is a free base. Full and ness are affixes. They do not carry the principal meaning of the word. They are affixes. But what type of affixes? They are suffixes because they come after the base fruit. We have 2 suffixes in this word. Responsibilities. We have 4 morphemes in this word. Response, IBLE, ITY, and S. Response is a free morpheme. IBLE, ITY, and S are bound morphemes. Response is the base. It has the principal meaning of the word. The meaning of the word responsibilities comes first from response. Then we add these affixes to response. So the meaning of responsibilities comes from response. That is why it carries the principal meaning of the word. And it is a free base. It is the base and it is a free base. IBLE, ITY, and S are affixes. They carry secondary meaning. They do not carry the principal meaning of the word, so they are affixes. What kind of affixes? They are suffixes because they come after the base.